Hello, this is Key,
And I'm Wolf Peters.
and this is the
Key and Wolf Adventures.
And we have been back after over a month because we've had some personal things happen, and we've had some wonderful family stuff happen in my family. So basically, we've kind of been taking a break and had some personal and wonderful stuff happen in our families and tragedies. So we are back after a little while. So we are going to do a Q&A and then the two books, which we'll show you in part 2. So the first question for the Q&A to get to know us is, what is your favorite color and why?
My favorite color is orange. It's been my favorite color since I was a little kid and everything. And that's how I like some stuff too. That's because the color orange and everything like that. Like the Longhorns, Ricky Fowler, because they wore orange and everything. That's my favorite color. I had my room back at my second house, back at the second house that I live at with my parents and everything. It was painted orange, and it was cool and everything like that. Hopefully I can find a picture, maybe not to show you guys, but to show her and everything. But it was cool and everything. And yeah, orange has been my favorite color since I was born, basically.
My favorite color has always been pink. I've always liked the different shades of pink and the way the color looks. And I like it because of the sunset and because roses are usually pink and flowers are pink. And so I've been a person that loves pink. I also had my room painted pink. I had my curtains at one point painted pink, and my bed sheets were pink. So I had a lot of stuff that was pink, and I really liked it. And it was just a cool and fun color, and I really liked it. So now, do you have any siblings?
Yes, I do. I have one sister which still lives with us, with me and my not with our parents, excuse me, and everything like that. And then I do have two half brothers. One was he's just doing his own thing, whatever, and everything like that. And then the second one, he is. Well, I met him back a few Christmases ago, and he's very nice and and very enjoyable and everything. And right now he's in California. I think he's gonna go back to school to be a realtor or something like that. I don't know what the latest is with him, but I know he's over there. He's doing good.
And I have one brother, but he doesn't live here. He lives on the other side of Houston, and he's married now and has kids. So, and my brother's younger than me by 2 years. I'm the oldest of my siblings. I was born first, And so I just have one sibling. And then, what is a place in the U.S. you like to visit and why?
One place that I visit in the United States is Daytona Beach, and that's one of my favorite places to go and everything. And definitely Disney. Definitely it was like an hour away from Disney World and everything. Got to go to Disney World, and then got to go to Universal. That was a fun place. Another fun place is Brazos Bend and everything. That's another good place to go for like camping and everything. New Braunfels is another good place to go camping and all that. That's fun too. And everything like that. San Antonio is fun, especially the Alamo and everything like that. I still haven't I think I've gone to the what is it, the water walk or something like that. I don't know if I've done that. Alpine, Texas was fun to go to the ranch and ride a horse, and that was fun and everything like that. And LA is a cool place to go too. Just know that it's gonna be hectic traffic in LA. LA traffic is horrible.
They're actually considered the worst traffic
It's
in the
some of
United
the
States.
worst traffic ever. It's horrible, but yeah, those are the places I've been to in the United States, and I want to go to more. I just haven't got to more places that I want to go.
And for me, I really like visiting Atlanta because my dad's brother and his family live in Atlanta. So we go every year and visit them every couple years, or they come here for Christmas and all that stuff. And then another place I went a few years ago was Oregon, right before the pandemic hit. It was Oregon. In 2019, we went like the last week in May, basically, and that trip, and that was really fun. We got to go to Crater Lake, which is a national park, and we got to go to an actual lake and stop there and see beauty. We got to see Mount Hood, which is like a mountain. And then I also liked the Northeast when we went up to the Northeast because I visited Boston and got to do the Freedom Trail and see all of the historic stuff that was going on in the United States and like all of the George Washington and the Revolutionary War stuff. So that was pretty cool. And then we went up to Vermont to one of my dad's parents' friends back when my dad was in high school. We went up to their cabin and spent a whole weekend there, and that was really fun. So it was fun wandering up through the Northeast and seeing all of that and stopping at Lake Erie. And then I also like Tennessee because of the Smoky Mountains. That was a fun place I got to go visit, was the Smoky Mountains, and actually see some really cool smoke over some mountains and hills and things like that, and go out to the top of the observatory. And then I like Galveston, but Galveston Beach is pretty cool too. It's kind of cool, but I like Florida though too, because Florida has a lot of sand dollars, and I like collecting sand dollars. So Florida had all the sand dollars. Their beach was more clear and they were nice. We kind of went to Panama, Florida, and a few other places over there. But those are my favorite places to actually go visit in the United States. At some point, I kind of would like to go, and I've also been to Colorado, and that's a fun place to go too. The mountains are really cool. So now we're going to do favorite candy and why. Okay, so what's your favorite candy and why?
Mr. Beast Feastables. That's my favorite. It's the milk chocolate variant of it. It's it has flavor. It's delicious. It's yummy. And it's better. And it's very good. Like Hershey's is just plain and everything, but this one is like a kick up of Hershey. It has that nice like kick that it needs to not be like so plain and everything like that. That's my favorite candy. Mr. Beast Feastables milk chocolate.
My favorite candy is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I've always been a sucker for Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. I think that I like the combination of peanut butter and chocolate together. I think it's so good together. And that's one of my favorite ways to eat chocolate is with peanut butter. So I really like Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, you know. And they're by the same company that does Hershey's and all that other chocolate. That's so good too. And that's my favorite candy. Your favorite number and why?
My favorite number is 20. I don't have a good reason why 20 is my favorite number. It's been my favorite number. 6 was my original favorite number. And then I like 12 too. And then 97 I like it because that's the year I was born and everything. So 97 is another favorite number of mine. And then 42 for obvious reasons because of baseball, Jackie Robinson, and all that. And that, but 20 is my real favorite number. Don't ask me why 20. It's just a number I like. I don't have a good reason. Like, this is my mind saying why I have a reason. I don't have a good reason. It's just my favorite number.
So, my favorite number...
Oh, and also 4 is another of my favorite number because that's the day I was born. And 3 is another good one because that's the month I was born too.
So, my favorite numbers are 11, 16, and 32. I like 11 because I was born on May 11th. So that's why I like the number 11, because it was the day that I was born on. I like 16 because it's Sweet 16. I think that was a cool age to be at when you turned 16 and got to have a Sweet 16 and everything. And then 32 is my favorite number. I don't have a reason why it's my favorite number. I just like that it's an even number. So that's probably why I really like it, because it's an even number. And that's why I like those favorite numbers. Your favorite season and why?
My favorite season is spring. And everything like that. I like spring and everything. But I'm more turning into a fall person. I like fall, the cooler weather. You know, we live here in Texas, so any cool weather is fantastic here and everything. So fall is my favorite season and all that. I like fall. The change of the leaves is nice. Just the fall weather is nice. Football. Playoff baseball, golf, and everything like that. It's just a fun season and everything like that.
My favorite season is spring because I like the time when the flowers come out. The trees
I like that too.
The trees start getting their leaves back and the weather starts getting warmer, but not too warm. I feel like in springtime, it's anywhere from the 70s to the 80s, you know, like in the springtime, and it's just the perfect season, you know. And I've always really enjoyed it because the plants grow, and we usually do a garden in the spring. So usually we get good vegetables in the spring, but we haven't done a garden in a couple years because we've just been too lazy and haven't had the time to do it. So, but our family's trying to get back into doing a garden. Hopefully we get around to doing that at some point, you know. But that's why I like spring and everything, and it's just the perfect season for me. Favorite sports and why?
I already went into it a little bit, but baseball, football, golf is my all-time favorite sport and everything. But yeah, baseball and football, they're up there too. I got into golf when I was 3 years old and everything like that, and that's my favorite sport of all time. And then baseball was my second favorite sport of all time, and football. I like the Astros and baseball, excuse me, not football. And then football, I like the Texans, and then if you go college, the Longhorns. Those are my favorite sports, and I'm going to say this, I do like NFL football, but I'm more of a college football person than an NFL football. I just like the atmosphere and the craziness of college football more than NFL football.
For me, I like baseball and football the best. And I'm not really into NFL like Sam said. I'm more into college because sometimes the games are unpredictable and crazy things can happen in a college football game. And I like the atmosphere and the fans for college football. NFL, they like, it's predictable. Like my dad, he knows like certain plays, what's going to happen on certain plays in NFL rather than college. And he can call certain plays in NFL that he can in college because college is so unpredictable. And so I also like baseball because of the Houston Astros. I've been a big fan of them in baseball for a really long time, since 2005 when they went to their first World Series with Roger Clemens in them. And I've been a big fan of them, and I've been following them and watching all their games. I'm also a Houston Texans fan, and I'm also a Longhorn and a Colorado Buffalo fan and a University of Houston fan. Sorry about the paper flying, though it's a little windy out, so we're putting a book on it to keep it from blowing away. But those are my favorite college teams that I like in football that I think are really amazing. And shout out to Dwayne Johnson for going to the CU game this week and pulling out a CU shirt and supporting them this week. That was fun to see him at the game and at College Game Day, so that was pretty cool.
Also, my favorite teams in college football, not just the Longhorns, is Notre Dame and Hawaii for some reason. I don't know why, but those are my favorite teams. And I do like NFL, don't get me wrong. That's where I started watching football, was NFL. So I do like NFL, but I just think the atmosphere and everything in college football is just so much funner than NFL and everything. I still like watching NFL and everything, but it's just not. It's not the same. It's just not the same atmosphere as college football. It's like college football, they're always into the game unless it's like a blowout or something. And then NFL, it's like, it almost seems like some of the, if you're not a diehard NFL fan, it seems like you could care less, and that's what I feel like for them. That's like they could just care less. But college, they go all out basically.
So, what is your favorite video game and why?
Oh gosh, that's a hard one. I don't have one particular video game I like. I like a series of video games. It's Super Mario. It's the Mario franchise. That's my favorite video games all the time. Grew up on them when I was 3 years old and everything. And that's my favorite video game franchise of all time. I don't have one video game I like right now. There's a bunch of video games I play and everything. Board games, card games, sports games, racing games. There's a bunch of games, but the Mario franchise, the main 9 series and the spin-offs, especially Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's a fun one to play and everything like that. But the Mario franchise is my favorite. If you want to pick my favorite game out of the Mario, it's Mario Odyssey. Just how they made that game was just fantastic and everything like that. It was the quintessential Mario game that we were all been looking for, and you go to worlds and everything like that. It was the sandbox one we were looking for, and I'm so excited for Paper Mario Thousand Year Door getting remastered next year, coming up for the Switch. I'm going to pick that up day one and finish it for the first time ever. It's such a great game. It's my favorite Paper Mario game of all time. Could be my favorite game of all time, but it's my favorite Paper Mario game of all time. I can't wait for that game, and I can't wait for the new Super Mario Wonder game. And that's an interesting take of a 2D Mario game. I can't wait for that one either.
So my favorite one are all like racing games. I kind of like the trivia games, kind of like Trivia Pursuit, Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, and like Monopoly and those kind of games. And like the board game ones, I think those are all pretty fun. I've been a big fan of Pat and Vanna White. And I'm really sad to see Pat leaving Wheel of Fortune next year on TV because that's a really good game show. But I've always enjoyed playing them because it's really fun to see what kind of questions they're going to ask you and what kind of puzzles they're going to pull up, and you have to guess the letters, and so that makes it kind of more fun. And it puts my brain at work and gets my brain thinking, which is why I like games that make you think, basically, you know. And I like the board games, like when we play the Clubhouse games, so we play President and Dominoes and those kind of games. They're always pretty fun. I do like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I have the booster pass, so every time a new tracks come out, I get them immediately when they drop. And they're really fun, and they take you to some different places, like different countries, different locations. They pull some out from the Wii, the GameCube, the DS. They pull them out from all there and put them on the Switch, which is nice. And I've also been kind of a big Mario fan too, you know, and I like some Mario games. So, what is your favorite subject and why?
It used to be math, but it's not math anymore. I do like history too, but if you want to, I guess if you want to say my favorite subject, it's probably PE, I guess. And all that. I like just having a whole entire period of just running around, playing some sports, different sports we play, and just running around, just having a good old time.
My favorite subject is history. I've always been a big history buff. I also like English class too. I really liked the history when we were talking about American history. That was always fun. And then when I got into college, I took American history. And that was a really fun class. And I kept my American history book from college. So that was pretty cool. And I like the Revolutionary period. That's my favorite time. I also like, back in the day, the ancient Greeks, ancient Egyptians. I think they have really cool history. And then if you want to go more current, I would say I like the Revolutionary War and the Renaissance period with Leonardo da Vinci, who painted the Sistine Chapel. I thought he was pretty cool. So those are my favorite time periods in history. English class, I liked it because I enjoyed reading. And I always had to have a book in my hand and read a book. So that's why I liked English class. And we read different books and we did some little projects on them and PowerPoints. And they were always kind of fun. And I like Pride and Prejudice. We read that and saw the movie. And then, of course, we watched a couple of the Hunger Games movies in high school. So that was pretty fun. And so now, what is your favorite book and why?
Oh, gosh. There's a bunch of books I read and everything like that. I haven't read a book in a while. I need to start getting back into that, because that would kind of help me start, reading and everything. I guess my favorite book, and don't take this the wrong way or anything like that. If you want to go fiction book, it's Harry Potter. Those are my favorite books. But if you want to go my all-time favorite book, it's the Bible. I like reading the Bible. I like digging into God's word and everything like that. I love talking about God and everything, talking about the history of how the world was made, what God did through life and everything. Basically, it is a history book, but it was a religious history book and everything. And it's just one of my favorite things to read about. I like reading about Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, where Jesus was dying on the cross for our sins and everything like that, and all that. But that one is my favorite. It's my favorite book and all of that, and talking about some other stuff like love your neighbor as yourself, which is one of my favorite verses of all time in Matthew, and love your spouse, honor your parents, 10 Commandments, and all of that. And that's my favorite book, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the Bible. That's probably my favorite book right now.
My favorite book is the Rush Revere series. But I also agree with Sid that I do like the Bible, and all that he said about the Bible is true, and that's why I kind of like the Bible too. I like it because it teaches us and guides us and helps us to grow and learn and stuff and be a better person, basically. And that Jesus came and died on the cross for our sins and everything, and that he made a way for us to get to heaven. And then the Rush Review series is a great book series that I read. It's about Rush Limbaugh. He wrote a book series before he unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But he wrote a book series about different time periods in American history. So he wrote about the American Revolution. He wrote about Francis Scott Key, and then he wrote a book about that where he went back to help Benjamin Franklin and all those famous people. And so I wrote a series about these kids in middle school that go with Rush Revere to the past and help change the past, and kind of learn about the past and all that stuff. And it's also got the Pilgrims in it too, because the first book is about the Pilgrims too, and so it's pretty cool and everything. And so I really liked what he did there. He made it funny, he made it silly, he made it serious, he made it educational, and that's why I like it. And then your favorite movie and why?
Oh gosh, that is super duper hard. My favorite movie. Oh gosh, I like a lot of movies and everything like that. Actually no. I take that back. My favorite, I just remember it. I don't know how I forgot about it. My favorite movie of all time is the Goofy movie. I really enjoyed that movie. I really enjoyed the dynamic of Goofy and Max, and the father-son relationship that they have to overcome and everything, about Max being a teenager and all of that. And then I like the relationship between Max and Roxanne. I hope they bring that back and like really dig deep into that relationship and everything. And I like PJ. It's a fun movie, fun road trip movie and everything, and it's a fun movie to watch.
My favorite movie of all time is anything. Let me see. I would definitely say Harry Potter is the top for me. I really like Harry Potter and Marvel. Those are two of my favorite movies of all time. I really like Harry Potter because of the cast. They did a good job casting the cast as they did. And they did a good job adapting it from book to movie. And I like all the magic and all the cool, like, sayings that they use with their wands when they wave their wand like this. They go, Expelliarmus.
Yeah. That's probably my second favorite movie and movies.
And they're really good. And I like all the Marvel movies because they got lots of action, tons of adventure, and basically stopping bad guys in the movies too.
But if you want to, I want to say this real fast. The latest Marvel movies and everything, it could be better though.
Yeah, and they're trying to scale back on the movies now and kind of make them better, you know. But I like all the older ones, like before Endgame and all that.
It's the first 25 movies. I think that's what it is. I think it was 25 movies up until Endgame. So about 25 movies.
And I really like Black Widow, Doctor Strange, Thor, all those characters are like some of my top favorite characters. I did like when in the latest Doctor Strange one where they had the music notes come flying out of the key, come flying out of the other Doctor Strange, and they were basically playing the greatest organ song of all time for the organ, and it was so cool to see that song come to life when the music keys were flying, and it was fun. So I've been a big fan of Marvel ever since, and we went back last year in the summer and I had a whole marathon and watched all the way up to Endgame, all the movies in order, like when they came out, release date. We watched them by release date.
And I would say this real fast, going back to the Harry Potter thing real fast, because I want to say this real fast. I'm not sure how I feel about the new cast for Harry Potter, because for the TV show that they're potentially going to do. I'd rather them go and make a knife movie with at least Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, and Rupert Grant, and the Cursed Child. I wanted them to make that over making a TV show about Harry Potter.
Okay, so what is your favorite TV show and why?
Now that one's tougher than movies. I guess one of my favorite ones is Psych and everything like that. Is just so good. About two friends. One thinks he's a psychic, but he's not really a psychic. He knows some stuff and he can absorb the room better than anybody else. So that's why he pretends to be a psychic and everything. The current TV show I'm watching right now is one of my favorite ones too. Is Castle. I like Castle a lot. So much good drama. Funny, mysterious, everything you want in a TV show is very good. I like Castle a lot. Definitely like Nathan Fallon because I watched him in The Rookie, and that's a good one too with him. And it's similar to Castle. It's similar to Castle, but in a different way, which I actually probably enjoy The Rookie a little bit more than Castle. But I do like Castle too a lot.
Yeah.
And then yeah. And the Orville's another good one too. But that's something totally different about space and everything and funny and everything. It's like a spin-off. It's like a it's like a spin-off kind of parody of Star Trek, and I like it.
Yeah. For me, I do like Castle too, and I like that each episode something happens and somebody dies in each individual episode of Castle, or something explodes or something, and they have to go figure out who died, and they have to solve the mystery, and they use the FBI or whatever group it is to help them solve the cases, and they get Castle involved, and so Castle kind of joins them on their whole adventure to basically go solve these crimes and everything. And then he also writes a book too, and he bases the people in real life at the building that he's working with and base the characters off of them, and so that's why I really like it. And plus I like Nathan Fallon. And by the way, he showed up in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 when they go into the building to basically retrieve something in a building, and he shows up and tries to stop him, and it's pretty funny, and I love Nathan Fallon in there. But my favorite TV show was Zombies. I love The Walking Dead. I've been a big fan of Walking Dead since it first aired. I like the zombies, the way they made each zombie look different, and the storyline. They asked really good questions at the beginning of the episodes, and they always were able to answer them by the end of the episode, and they were some good, meaningful questions. And I enjoyed the cast and the characters, and like every season someone would always die or some new bad guy would come up, or there would be, but if you're really into that, it's good. They're kind of a little gory. Some of them there's a lot of blood because of killing of zombies. But that's my favorite TV show of all time. My favorite song and why is... Alright, so we're getting a little short on time, so we're going to be brief on these. What is your favorite song and why?
I don't really have a favorite song. I guess my favorite song is La Bum Bum. I guess that's how you say it.
La Bum Bum La La.
No, it's not that. It's about Palace. It's about... I really don't know how to explain the song and everything.
But that's your favorite song.
But that's my favorite song.
My favorite song is like a Taylor Swift song. I really don't have a
She's
favorite
a true
song.
Swiftie.
I am a true Swiftie. I like any song that Taylor Swift actually pulls out, because I've always been a big fan since Taylor Swift started singing, and even when she switched genres, she's been really cool. And she has a really nice voice, and she's always like really supportive of like the people that go on tour with her, and she pays them, the people that go on tour, things like that. And she's always giving, and she's a really nice person. I've enjoyed Taylor Swift, and I wish I could have gone to a concert this year, but I just didn't have the money to go.
Her concerts are very expensive.
Yeah.
Like, that's how big she is.
And she's one of the biggest names in the world. And she said, I ain't doing the Super Bowl till I record all my albums over again. So she's got 1 or 2 left, and once she records them, she'll do the Super Bowl. And your favorite food and drink and why?
Probably pizza is my favorite food. At least that's what I just ate and everything. I do like a good PB&J sandwich too and everything. I eat that every day at work when I have a long shift and everything. And I eat that every day and everything. And that's a good one. And then I guess Gatorade, orange Gatorade, or strawberry lemonade, Powerade. I like those drinks too and everything. And all that. Sprite's a good drink too. But I'm really dialing back on soda and everything. I'm just trying to stay hydrated, be healthy and everything. So yeah. But those are some of my favorite drinks. Orange juice is a good drink too. Water, I guess. If you want to be bland, I guess. But yeah.
My favorite food and drinks are pasta. I really like pasta. My couple favorite pastas I like is fettuccine alfredo. I like spaghetti, and I like a good lasagna. Those are my top 3, and then my 4th one would be chicken parmesan. But I'm a big sucker for pasta, and I really like the taste and the flavors and everything. You know, and I gotta be a little careful on spaghetti sauce because of acid reflux. It'll upset me, so I have to be careful of that.
Tomato sauce of any kind, like pizza, anything like that.
And I do like pizza too.
And I have to dial it back too.
Yeah, and I'm trying to eat more healthier too. And so my favorite drinks are Sprite, orange juice, milk, water, and Coke. I really like those drinks. Those are my favorite ones. And I always have to have a glass of milk at least once a day. I have to once in the morning and once in the afternoon drink water, or I'll have a really dry throat in a couple hours. And then my mouth will feel like sandpaper because I get a dry mouth pretty easy. So once this video's over, I'm probably going to go get some water and drink that so I can stay hydrated and cool, you know. But those are my favorite drinks. Pizza. Favorite pizza topping and why?
Pepperoni. It has to be, you have to have a pizza with pepperoni on it. If you don't, then that's a crime and everything to start. Pepperoni is the best topping ever. I don't care what you say. Pepperoni is the worst topping ever. And I'm going to give you my least favorite topping. Pineapple. Don't add me. Don't add me. Pineapple is the worst topping.
But you really like pepperoni.
But pepperoni is my favorite. Also, anchovies are bad too. Top 2 worst is is pineapple and anchovies. But I have to say that real fast because I want to say that. But my favorite is pepperoni. End of discussion.
My favorite is mushrooms. I got to the point now where I like mushrooms on a pizza, and I'll put them on a pizza too. I kind of have another type for first, and it's tomato. I found out several years ago that I like tomatoes on a pizza, and I tried it, and it was fantastic. And now every time I go to like Mod Pizza, where you can customize your own pizza, I tell them to put lots of mushrooms and lots of tomatoes because I like it. I also do sausage and pepperoni because they're my second favorite. But my top two are for sure mushrooms and tomatoes and all of that stuff. And now we're going to go to favorite animal and why.
My favorite animal is a wolf. And you could probably tell that's my favorite animal by the name the name
of this
channel and everything. The wolf part, that's me. And you could just tell that's my favorite animal of all time. It's been my favorite animal for a long time and everything. And also, it came about because I wanted a cool nickname like Tiger Woods because I was trying to go pro golfer and everything. I wanted to be a pro golfer at one point. And I was deciding if I wanted a cool name, but my mom and the relatives say, you shouldn't go with, and friends and everything, you shouldn't go with Tiger because there's already a Tiger Woods, so you shouldn't go Tiger. And I'm like, oh, why not Wolf? And it's just stuck in everything. I was thinking about Tiger Paws because that's what my grandma calls me and everything, but that didn't roll off the tongue like I wanted. But Wolf Peters did, so that's just what I like. That's just how it is, and that's where I like wolves and everything.
My favorite is...
number 2 is pigs. I get that from my mom.
So, my number 1 is cheetah. I really like cheetahs. And the reason why I like cheetahs is because they're really fast.
Well, this is new. I never knew this from her.
And at some point, I would really like to be as fast as a cheetah. So, I could just like have speedy fast and get to different places speedy fast, you know? And everything. And so, like, I could go and grab something real fast outside in the outside fridge and then come back in real fast. Or go upstairs and grab something real fast and come back down. And basically be like Dash from The Incredibles. I wish I was Dash from The Incredibles. But that's my favorite animal. Our favorite board game and why.
Well, that's new. Well, my favorite board game, and it's a newer board game, and I would like to have like a collection of board games and different board games too. And there's a channel I follow on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know if they're on Instagram, but Facebook and YouTube that I need to show Rebecca about some of these board games that they play that look interesting that I want to get and everything like that. But my favorite board game, and I guess is my favorite one right now, is Your Worst Fear. That's a good one, and it's one of my favorite ones. And I like Monopoly, I like Sorry, I like Ticket to Ride. That's another good one and everything. But Worst Fear is fun. Who Knew is a good one too. Those are good ones. Who Knew is you trying to find your favorite and everything. You think of the person that you have like things on your card, and you're trying to guess what the person that you're doing it for as your favorite thing that they would like, and then you pass them the card, and then you pass them the card. And then for worst nightmare is you're trying to rank your fears of the cards in front of you, even if you don't have a fear of it, and then you rank somebody else's fear. But those are my 2 favorites right now.
And about the Who Knew game is that like so you get 4 cards. And like somebody starts, and you have to find something out of the 4 cards you think they would like, and then pass it to them, and then they kind of like, and so then they look at them when they get all the cards from everybody, and then they look at them and they rank them in order best to worst or whatever. And so basically, and then we usually keep score of the points we get at the end because you get tokens with numbers on them, and that's a fun one. But I really like Clue, and I really like Life, and I've always been a big fan of Life because it gives you like the option to go to college, get married, have kids, buy a house, and spin and get these different numbers, and then they give you the action ones. You do different actions, or you pay taxes and all that. And so that's a fun game that I really like. I also like Clue because you get to try to go to different places and guess the weapon or the person, you know. And then if you think you have it after you guess the person or the weapon or whatever in the room, and you think you have it all, you go to the center and make an accusation. If you're correct, you're correct. If not, you lose. But that's why I like those games. Favorite cartoon character and why? So now we're going to do your favorite cartoon character and why.
My favorite cartoon character has always been Mickey Mouse. It's always been Mickey Mouse. I've always grown up as a Disney fan and everything like that. Mickey Mouse was the first cartoon I watched and everything. Always been Mickey Mouse. He's funny. He's just adventurous. He's everything I wanted and a cartoon character. So he's my favorite. My second favorite probably like Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan, and I have pretty much the whole entire movies collection at home. I'm missing a few of the TV shows, but I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan. That's my second one. And then I also like Looney Tunes. That's a good one. And I also like Tom and Jerry, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then a few other ones. But yeah,
my favorite is Jimmy Neutron. I've always been a big fan of Jimmy Neutron. He was always this guy that was pretty genius and made all these different inventions. And then somewhere along the way, like a bad guy came and he always had to stop a bad guy, or something crazy happened and he had to fix it, you know. And so it was just a good series overall, you know, basically. And I liked that it was, and I've always been a big fan of that one. My second favorite, I would say, like Sam, is Scooby-Doo, because I've always been a big Scooby-Doo fan. I like the different mysteries that they try to solve, the different bad guys and the unmasking,
oh, yeah,
and going around for clues. I like when Shaggy and Scooby stuff their face with food. That's always fun, because they always have to eat something in the episode, and they always have to go them two together doing their own adventures. So my favorite character is Scooby-Doo. He's a Great Dane and all that stuff. And so those are my top two. And now we're gonna do our favorite game show.
No.
We're gonna skip down and do you have any pets?
Yes, I do. I had a pet dog. He died about 5 years ago and everything in 2018. Oh, we put him down in 2018 and everything. His name was David. He was my first true pet that I had and everything. And he was my he was our favorite and everything. But now we have a pet bunny, and she is curious, funny when she does some stuff, and she
tries to eat.
And she chews a lot and stuff and everything. So,
and one thing about his bunny is, if you have a long skirt and you're over at his house, the bunny will chew your long skirt. So be careful if you wear a long skirt.
She's a chewer and everything, so we're trying to stop her to chew stuff and everything. But she's funny, she's cute and everything, and I like my bunny.
I had a pet dog growing up when I was a kid named Star. She was a Black Lab German Shepherd mix, and she was a sweet dog. She didn't like men for some reason, but she was such a good dog, and she was really good. And then she passed away on Pearl Harbor Day 2016. And then the year that Hurricane Harvey hit, we basically got a new dog named Beowulf, and he is a Great Dane Black Lab mix, and he is a handful. He can go from 0 to 100 in 5 seconds to get the zoomies. He likes to grab things and run, so he likes to say, "Nay, boo boo, you can't get me, look what I have in my mouth," and basically make you chase him to get whatever it is that's in his mouth. And so he likes doing that, and he's a crazy dog and just goofy and likes to jump on people, and he's a happy dog for the most part, and his fur is nice and soft.
And then we're gonna go to
our favorite piece of jewelry and why. So our favorite piece. So we're gonna go now into our favorite piece of jewelry. This is my favorite piece of jewelry.
And we're gonna say it.
We're engaged. So if you didn't know, we are actually engaged. We got engaged in March of this year, and so he did a nice proposal at Stevenson Park. That was a nice place where he proposed. And the ring is really special. It's actually an emerald, and then it's got like a crown on top. It's basically like an Irish ring. And there's some meaning behind it. I think the middle one is love, and then there's like
friendship
and loyalty is the other one with the ring. And so it came with the ring and the band, and I was totally surprised when he proposed to me. But yeah, that's my favorite piece of jewelry, and I'll never take it off because it's so special and it means a lot that we're actually engaged, you know.
Yes.
And we wanted to come out on our channel and say it and let people know that we were actually engaged, you know, if y'all were wondering what's been going on. That was something that's been going on this year with us, so we're really excited about that. And hopefully sometime in the next couple years we'll be wedding planning and having a nice wedding. So we'll keep you up to date on that when we get there.
And that's our video for today.
And we're going to do a part 2 to this video, but it's going to be 2 books. We'll show you the 2 books, and we'll do some stuff in the books for y'all. So this is our first video. If you like, click and subscribe and comment on our video. And if you have any suggestions on what we should do for our next videos, let us know in the comment section.
Thank you for watching.
Bye. We love you.